Hey, sports card fans, it's John, Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. It's time to take a look at the top 10 PSA vintage baseball card sales on eBay for the month of September 2023 for cards from the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. As always, I do a separate top 10 list for each decade. This month, for the 1950s, it marks the second month in a row that a 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle did not make the top 10 list. For cards from the 1960s, the first time since April, a 1968 Topps Nolan Ryan rookie card did not make the top 10 list. As for the cards from the 1970s, you have a lot of high-grade, low-population cards make this month's top 10 list, most of them selling for record high prices and for cards that may surprise you. So, which cards made the top 10 lists? Let's go find out. Let's start off with the top 10 from the 1950s. At number 10, we have the 1953 Topps Mickey Mantle in a PSA 5. Great looking copy there, although it is off-center, top to bottom, and left to right. This card sold on September 27th for $7,709. It was a buy it now. The current VCP average price for a PSA 5 is $7,843. The record high sale for PSA 5 was $12,000 back in February of 2021. At number 9, we have the 1951 Bowman Willie Mays rookie card in a PSA 3.5. Again, a little off-center, top to bottom, left to right. Overall, a nice low, mid-grade copy of the Willie Mays rookie card. This one sold on September 13th for $7,742. This one was an auction, 33 bids. Current VCP average price, $8,781. So this one sold for about $1,000 under the current VCP average price, and the off-centering may have something to do with that. The record high sale for a 3.5 was $13,500 back in February of 2021. At number 8, we have the 1951 Bowman Mickey Mantle rookie card in an authentic altered condition. Overall, the card doesn't look that bad. It's a little off-centered. Looks to be like a little bit of a vertical print mark going through the Mickey down through his bat. But other than that, a fairly nice copy, and copy on the low end of the market here. This one sold on September 3rd for $7,755. It was an auction. There were 24 bids. The VCP average price for an authentic 51 Bowman Mickey Mantle, $6,981. Now, the record high sale for an authentic, and this was just a pure authentic label, was $10,000 back in March of 2021. At number 7, we have the 1955 Topps Roberto Clemente rookie card in a really nice 6.5. Centering isn't perfect, but overall, great looking copy there. The back does have a little bit of off-centering to it as well. This one sold on September 4th for $7,900. It was a best offer. Now, the current VCP average price is $5,999. This particular sale was not found in the VCP database. The record high sale for a 6.5 was $12,322 back in May of 2016. At number 6, we have another 1951 Bowman Willie Mays. This one is in a PSA 7 but miscut. As you can see, it's really off-center, left to right. This one sold on September 24th for $8,155.75. It was an auction. There were 31 bids. The VCP average price in VCP's database, they don't really have pricing data for cards that are labeled miscut, off-center, stain, things like that. So it was difficult to find what the current average price is for a 7 miscut. If you look at lower graded copies that could be comparable to it, PSA 5, the average price is around $15,900. For a PSA 4, around $11,500. So this one even sold less than what a normal or regular PSA 4 would sell for. At number 5, we have the 1952 Topps Jackie Robinson in a PSA 5. It does have a weird diamond centering to it. To me, it takes away from the overall eye appeal. The background is a solid red. Overall, the image on the card is good. The corners seem to be decent enough, but there's definitely a diamond centering to that card. This one sold on September 24th for $13,156.68. It was an auction, but there was only one bid. The current VCP average price for a PSA 5 is $14,425. So again, this one sold for about maybe $1,200 roughly, below the current VCP average price. And again, it very well may come down to the eye appeal of this particular card because of the centering. The record high sale for a PSA 5, $30,401 back in April of 2021. At number 4, we have the 1954 Topps Hank Aaron rookie card in a really nice PSA 7. Again, other than maybe the corners, the back seems to be fairly centered as well. Overall, great looking copy of the Hank Aaron rookie card. This one sold on September 25th for $14,855.55. It was an auction. There were 55 bids. The current VCP average price, $14,837. Now, I marked here that this auction was a Greg Morris auction. The reason why I bring this up is this exact card, the same exact card based on the serial number, sold last month for $16,370. Now, that was a Probstein auction on eBay. So the winning buyer paid $16,370. Looks like they received the card, handed it over to Greg Morris to relist and try to flip. The seller didn't do that well because they ended up losing money on this resale. At least that's what the data appears to show, that someone bought it for $16,370 and a month later sold it for less than $15,000. The record high sale for a PSA 7, $31,988 back in March of 2021. At number 3, we have another 1954 Topps Hank Aaron, also in a PSA 7. This is a much older slab. This one, the background doesn't seem to be as sharp. There looks to be a little bit of some ink marks on the card. Not sure if this would get graded a 7 based on today's standards, but it is a PSA 7 nonetheless. This one sold on September 14th for $16,750, so more than that other PSA 7. Now, this one was a buy it now as opposed to an auction. And again, that same VCP average price of $14,837 and the record high sale back in March of 21. At number 2, we have another 1951 Bowman Mickey Mantle rookie card in a PSA 4. This one does have two very distinctive vertical print marks down through the middle. Other than that, well centered, great registration. There's a little bit of mark there by the mantle in the name. For someone who does not mind those print marks there, great looking copy for a PSA 4. This one sold on September 28th for $21,000. It was a best offer. The VCP average price for a PSA 4, $17,769. Now, this particular sale was not in VCP's database, so this price did not impact that current VCP average price. The record high sale for a PSA 4 was $48,000 back in April of 2022. And the number one card for the month of September from the 1950s is the 1952 Topps Willie Mays in a PSA 6. Centering isn't great, but overall, great looking copy of the 52 Topps Willie Mays. This one sold on September 28th for $28,500. It was a best offer. This card also did not appear in VCP's database. According to their database of sales, the current VCP average price, $19,517. So that's quite a premium over the current VCP average price. So again, according to eBay, this sale did take place for $28,500, but seems to be a huge premium over what other PSA 6s sell for. The record high sale for a PSA 6 was $42,552 back in July of 2022. All right, on to the top 10 from the 1960s. Coming in at number 10, we have the 1961 Topps Mickey Mantle in a PSA 8. Overall, really nice looking card. Maybe some little bit of surface issues there. Looks maybe a little bit dull. Maybe there's some marks. Overall, centering looks really nice. Nice example there of the 61 Topps Mickey Mantle. This one sold on September 9th for $5,500. It was a best offer. VCP average price, $5,328. This sale as well was not included or did not show up in VCP's database. The record high sale for a PSA 8 was $10,024.80 back in December of 2022. At number 9, we have the 1967 Topps Mickey Mantle in a PSA 8.5. Really sharp looking card. This one sold on September 10th for $5,999.99. It was a buy it now. The current VCP average price, $5,525. So this one sold for a slight premium over the current VCP average price, and it was also a new record high sale for an 8.5. Previous high was $5,450 with a sale back in March of this year. At number 8, we have another Mickey Mantle, this time the 1960 Topps Mickey Mantle in a PSA 8. This one sold on September 20th for $6,077. It was an auction. There were 25 bids. Current VCP average price for a PSA 8, $6,593. So the buyer got a slight discount on the current average price. The record high sale for a PSA 8, $10,359.60 back in February of 2022. At number 7, we have a 1963 Topps Ernie Banks in a PSA 9. What a sharp looking card there. Really nice white borders, clean red bottom border there. Overall, just an exceptionally looking card for the 63 Ernie Banks, even though it is in an older slab. That's one sharp card. This one sold on September 26th for $6,100. It was a best offer. This sale did not show up in VCP's database. They show a current average price for a PSA 9 of $5,040. But based on this, I appeal. And I don't think there are many PSA 9s. In fact, there's only 29 that have been graded a PSA 9. None have been graded a PSA 10. So it's not unsurprising that this particular copy sold for $1,000 over the VCP average price. Record high sale for a PSA 9 was $15,000 back in April of 2022. At number 6, back to Mickey Mantle cards, we have a 1963 Topps Mickey Mantle in a PSA 8. Really nice looking card there. This one sold on September 23rd for $6,155. It was an auction. There were 23 bids. Current VCP average price, $6,259, so right around that average price. The record high for a PSA 8, though, $14,700 back in March of this year. At number 5, another 63 Topps Mickey Mantle, also in a PSA 8. Now, the image of this card, I don't think does it justice compared to the previous card there, but it still looks like an overall nice example. This one may not have the centering as the previous one. This one sold on September 23rd for $6,250. It was a best offer. This particular sale did not show up in the VCP database. And again, we have that record high sale back in March of this year. At number 4, we have a third 63 Topps Mickey Mantle, again in a PSA 8. This one, again, compared to the first one that showed up on the list, a little bit off center, left to right compared to that first one. This one sold on September 20th for $6,380, so the highest of the three. This one was an auction, 32 bids. And again, that current VCP average price, so this was a slight premium over the PSA average, and again, that record high sale. At number 3, we have the 1968 Topps Matty Alou in a PSA 10. Reason why this one showed up at number 3 on the list on September 4th, selling for $6,766, is that it is actually the only reported copy of a PSA 10 Matty Alou. So that is the current VCP average price. That's the only one that VCP has in their database. In a PSA 9, there are 44 copies. This PSA 10 that sold, it is one of only 3 that have been graded. At number 2, we have the 1962 Topps Roger Maris in a PSA 8. Really hard to find those 62 Topps in really high grade because of that wood border. This one sold on September 25th for $6,995. It was a buy it now. The current VCP average price, $4,500. This would be a new record high sale. I don't believe this sale was in the VCP database. I didn't mark it there. But if the current VCP average price is $4,500, no, I do take that back. There were some previous sales that did impact that average. There are 85 graded PSA 8. There are only 6 PSA 9s and no PSA 10s. So the VCP average price is $4,500, and this set a new record high sale for a PSA 8 at just under $7,000. Previous high was $5,299 back in May of 2022. And the number 1 card from the 1960s for September, 1965 Topps Mickey Mantle in a PSA 8. Great looking card there. Again, it's an older slab. I don't know. I don't see much wrong with that card. This one sold on September 8th for $7,950. It was a buy it now. The current VCP average price, $4,248. So sold for a not quite double, but a huge premium over the current VCP average price, possibly due to eye appeal. That thing is like dead centered. Record high sale for a PSA 8, $9,900, achieved back in March of 2022. All right, let's wrap this up with the top 10 from the 1970s. At number 10, we have the 1978 Topps Nolan Ryan, one of my favorite Nolan Ryan cards. I love the 78 Topps set. This is a PSA 9 copy. This sold on September 12th for $3,800. It was a buy it now. Current VCP average price, $2,888, so almost $1,000 over the current VCP average price for a PSA 9. The record high sale, though, was $5,655.55 back in August of 2022. Now, in a PSA 9, there are only 131 copies. There are only 3 that have been graded a PSA 10. At number 9, we have the 1971 Topps Beta Pinson in a PSA 9. So hard to find these 71 Topps cards in super high condition. This one sold on September 17th for $3,938.99. It was an auction, 30 bids. And that is the current VCP average price, and it is a new record high sale for a PSA 9 Veda Pinson. The previous high was $2,292 back in May of 2021. There are 11 PSA 9s. None have been graded a PSA 10. At number 8, we have the 1974 Topps Dave Concepcion in a PSA 10. This one sold on September 3rd for $4,052.99. It was an auction. There were 15 bids. The current VCP average price is this sale price. This is the only recorded sale in VCP's database that has taken place of a PSA 10. Reason being is that while there are 139 PSA 9s, this is the only card that has been graded a PSA 10. At number 7, we have another 71 Topps card, this time the Steve Hargan in a PSA 10. Sold on September 17th for $5,322.25. It was an auction, 22 bids. That is the current VCP average price. It is also a new record high sale for the 71 Topps Hargan, I should say. Previous high, $1,775.03 all the way back in August of 2008. There are 36 PSA 9s, but this copy here in a PSA 10 is one of only 3 that have been graded at that level. At number 6, another 71 Topps card, the Lee May in a PSA 9. This one sold on September 7th for $5,435.71. It was an auction. There were 25 bids, and that too is the current VCP average price, and it is also a new record high sale for the Lee May card. Previous high was $865 back in August of 2011. There are only 2 that have been graded PSA 9. None have been graded PSA 10. So definitely a rare card there in terms of the graded population. At number 5, we have the 1970 Topps Nolan Ryan in a PSA 9. This one sold on September 17th for $7,525. It was an auction, 44 bids. The current VCP average price, $8,703. So sold for a decent amount under the current VCP average price. In a PSA 9, there are 129 copies. There are only 3 that have been graded a PSA 10. Record high sale for a PSA 9, $29,995 back in March of this year. So this one really dropped from that high price. Now I think that record high sale may have been a buy it now. Not sure what the buyer was thinking, doing a buy it now for nearly $30,000 when the current VC average price is less than 10. But that is a recorded sale in the VCP database. At number 4, back to the 71 Topps cards, we have the 71 Topps Al Oliver in a PSA 9. This one sold on September 17th for $7,877. It was an auction, 27 bids, and that is the current VCP average price, and it is also a new record high sale for the 71 Al Oliver. The previous high of a PSA 9 was only $587 back in March of 2009. There are only 9 PSA 9s, only 1 have been graded a PSA 10. At number 3, we have the 1976 Topps Boog Powell in a PSA 10. This one sold on September 3rd for $7,877. It was an auction. There were 27 bids. Yes, both of those cards, number 4 and number 3, sold for the same price. It was an auction, same number of bids. That's not a typo there. The current VCP average price is that sale there of $7,877, and it is also a new record high for a PSA 10. The previous high was $449, but you have to go all the way back to March of 2012 for that sale. In a PSA 9, there's 61 copies. This PSA 10 is one of only 3 copies. At number 2, we have the 1979 Topps Willie Stargell in an amazing PSA 10. If you've collected this Willie Stargell card and know anything about it, it is one of the hardest ones in the set, along with the Ozzie Smith, to find well centered, and this is as good as I have seen a Willie Stargell centered. Now the back, though, it is, to my liking, maybe not PSA 10 worthy. It is somewhat off there left to right, but nonetheless, it did receive a PSA 10 grade. This one sold on September 25th for $10,000. It was a best offer. Now, this particular sale did not show up in VCP's database. They are showing a current average price of $4,730. According to eBay, though, with this $10,000 sale, it is a new record high sale for a PSA 10. The previous high was that $4,730 that showed up in the VCP database with a sale back in October of 2019. There are 65 PSA 9s. This one here is one of only 2 that have been graded a PSA 10. All right, on to the number 1 card for the 1970s, the 78 Topps George Brett. Now, this is marked the Hill Collection. I'm not familiar with the Hill Collection, who that owner was, but it is in a PSA 10. This one sold on September 4th for $16,000. It was a buy it now. This one did show up in VCP's database, which pushed the average price for a PSA 10 up to $14,300. There are 214 that have been graded a PSA 9. This one here is only one of 10 that have been graded a PSA 10. The record high sale for a PSA 10 was $21,000 back in May of 2022. There you go, the top 10 PSA vintage baseball card sales on eBay for the month of September 2023. We'd love to know your thoughts in the comments of the cards that made this month's top 10 lists, especially the cards from the 1970s. With that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.